one again. He's thrown me in the deep end yet again. Here we go. So block 8. Block 8 is box baskets. So with block 8 I decided that I would do something that you've probably all seen before and thought, oh, that looks pretty neat, but maybe we've not done it before, or maybe you have. Here it is in all its glory. So it's a block full of front post stitches and back post stitches. So I find front post stitches really easy, back post stitches can be a little bit challenging. Is instead of just a round of single crochet, I've also included a round of half double crochet all the way around the edge as well, because one, I couldn't actually quite get the block to be 12 inches if I added another band of front post or back post stitches either side. It was too big. So, and having one less made it a little bit small. So I thought, well, if I add a little border, and then I decided that, well, actually adding the border is better, because then trying to have just the row of single crochet on the edge meant that this was actually quite thick, and then butting that up against some of your other blocks, it would be a bit chunky. So I hope you enjoy this block. It's not a difficult block. The only thing that can be a little bit challenging is doing your back post stitch at the beginning of the row. That can be difficult to master because you've got to get your hook around the post, and it's a bit mind bending getting your hook around a post when you've got nothing to put it around on one side. But hopefully the videos will help you with that. And don't forget, we're here, and I'm available on Facebook, and you can always give the store a ring. So good luck. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Okay. So I've worked a foundation row of 36 double crochets into this one here, and then you need to turn your work and do chain 2. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, so that's my foundation row of 36, and I'm going to chain 2. So that's 1, 2, like this. Now throughout the work, these chain 2 here don't count as a stitch. It's there to enable you to manipulate your hook and move the work in a way that you need to. Alright, so for this row we're going to do 4 front post double crochets and then 4 back post double crochets. So double crochet is yarn over the hook and front post, so we're going to bring the hook in front of the post to the front of the post, yarn over and pull it through. 1 and 2, yarn over, insert the hook through the front of the post this way, that's 2, insert the hook from the front through to the back and out the front again, front of the post. So you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, and you can see they're the 2 chain that are just hanging out there. Don't worry about them, they'll get covered up a bit later on when you do your border. So I'm going to do another one. So in from the front, around the back of the post and out the front again, yarn over the front of the post, pull it through, yarn over, and pull it through, and then through the 2 stitches again. So now I've done 4 front post double crochets. So now I'm going to do 4 back. So yarn around the hook, in to the back, yarns at the back, round the front and out the back again. This way, yarns at the back of the stitch. And we're working over the back. So everything's at the back. And if you like, if it helps you, you can turn your work so you look like you're working at the back. So that's 1 and 2. So you can roll your work over, right, like this, and you can do it that way. That's 1 and 2. So we've done 2 stitches in there and out that way. So we're at the back of the work. Yarn around, so it's exactly the same motion as if you're working into a stitch, but you're just wrapping it around a post. So in the back,
round the front of the post and out the back, and we're working on the back of the stitch. Pull that through, just like an ordinary double crochet. And then when we look at the front of the work, we've just got this row across the front there like that. So it looks very different to the front post stitch. You're just going to do that all the way across the row. So we go back to now doing the front post stitch. Okay. Now we're going to move back onto the back stitches. So we're going to go in from the back, across the front of that next stitch and out the back. Turn your work over and you can see everything is now at the back. There's your 3 loops on your hook. And there. Worked your stitch there. We do the same thing again, in from the back, around the front of the stitch and out the back. Yarns at the back of the work. And pull that through. Again, that's 3. And this is 4. You can see again, so you can see we've got a little bit of a pattern happening. So we've got 4 front, 4 back, 4 front and 4 back. So I'm going to speed to the end of the row and you'll have a look at the end of the row and see what it all looks like. That's 4 now. Be careful because you've got a few extra. There's 2 chains here. I'm just going to slip that into there, not doing those 2 chains. So now you can see we've got to the end of row 1 and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 4 front post trebles and 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 4 back post trebles. Now we're going to turn the work. We're going to do 4 back post trebles and we're going to do 4 front post trebles. So if you look at the front of your work here, these are fronts and these are back post double crochets. So in order for these to look the same on this side, if I do a back post double crochet on here, it will look like a front post double crochet here on this side. So if I do a back post double crochet here, so I've got 1, 2, 3 and this is the 4th. So to do a back post, it's a bit tricky on this first one. So we go around this stitch here and pull that through. Okay. So that's 1, 2. Around here, 1 and 2. Around there. I'm just going to pull that loop long for a minute and I just want to turn that over. So can you see how doing the front on top of this one here makes this look like one long stitch? Because it looks like I've done a front over a front. Yeah? And this here I've done a back over what looked like a back. But if you remember the preceding row, we did a front. Yeah? But this was we've just done a back on this row here. So, can you see by doing opposites, we've made this side look like this is a long stitch and this is the short stitch. So by doing, okay, I'll just keep going to the end of the row and then you'll see it a bit better. So this is now another back post. And you'll get to see and recognise as you're working along what you should be doing as you come to your work. This will be a 3-row repeat once you've done this first couple of setup rows. You'll do a 3-row repeat all the way through. if you look, can you see we've got, this is the stitch here, and this in here, coming up here, is the chain. So we want to make sure that we're going to do the stitch. So we're going to go around here, there's the stitch. You can always just pull that out with your fingers if you need to. Don't worry about this hanging out, it's all good. We'll crochet over it when you do your border. Okay. Now we're going to turn the work and you will see how you've got some boxes taking shape. So now we're going to move on to row 5. And this is chain 2. Then we're going to back post into here. So we're changing the look. So see this here? So we've got this bit here and this bit here. So now we're going to have this bit going across here. So we've got these lines going down and now we're going to go across. So that's why we're going to do, these were front posts, so now we're going to do back posts, which will come across. So that's how we've got lines going this way and this way. So we've got lines going this way and this way. So these are your front posts. So these are, now we're going to do some back posts. That makes it change direction. So, alright, so we've done the 2 chain. So now we're going to do a back post. So back post, we're going to come over the top of that chain there. Oh no, underneath the chain, sorry. Underneath your chain, over there, and we're going to see how that chain's now out over there, and we're going to pull that through like that. So your chain is over behind there, and we've got 1, 2, 3 loops on our hook. Pull through the first 2 loops, then through the next 2, and that's your back post done. And we're going to do a front post here. So we're going to go this way, yarn over to the front, not the back, that way. All right. Hook goes in and in, but the yarn's at the front. Now we're going to do a back post. Hook goes in from the back and round. I had to think about it myself there for a minute. Right, from the back, out the back. Now we're on the front again. This is my last one, and this will be, last 4 will be around the back. And again, the last stitch here can be tricky to find. It will have 2 chains sitting beside it. Just make sure that you don't wrap around your 2 chain, otherwise you're going to end up with too much bulk. So if you have a look, you've got your stitch here, it's there, and there's your chain. It's coming from there, and there is your stitch there. So I'm going to yarn around, and I'm doing back posts. So back that way, and in from behind. And there's your wrap around your post, tucked away in there. And if you can see it, there's the 2 wraps there, just like those 2. So that's the end of that round. And now you can see how the pattern is developing like this. Alright, when you've done all your rows, you will just do all the way around with your single crochets. You'll do 3 single crochets in the corner, and you will work 36 single crochet all the way around. And then I want you to work half double crochets all the way around to give you this nice smooth edge here, because this is quite a textured block, and I didn't want this raised texture to be too much when you join it to your other blocks. So I thought it'd be a nice smooth way to join your blocks for you. Okay, so have fun with it, and I hope you enjoy.